أهلا وسهلا فيكم. Welcome all to the second panel in this electronic and mobile payments conference organized by Arab Advisors. Thank you for having us here today. We are honored to have Your Highness with us today. شكرا لحضورك لهاي البانل. أهلا وسهلا فيك. All right, today our topic is cash to cashless. It sounds very catchy, doesn't it? Huh? And we're going to have an interesting conversation about it. My name is Zeid Nasser. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Mediascope in the events and digital media and publishing fields. With me, I have distinguished panelists. I will introduce them very briefly because they have very long CVs and very, very impressive and distinguished CVs. You can see their bios in detail on the event website and in the event booklet that you have with you. So first, I'll start with introducing Basel first. Basel Ittel, he's the Vice President and Levant Market Manager for MasterCard Middle East and Africa. His career spans many companies since 1999, including MoneyGram, Emirates National Bank, STS, Hypercom, Arab Banking Corporation, First National Bank, Charles Schwab. Can I stop here? فأهلا وسهلا Basel.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you with us on the panel. Also with us is Mohammed Rifai. Mohammed is the Jordan country manager for PayFort. Mohammed has over 8 years of experience in e-payments, m-payments, partnerships in commerce and retail, also highly experienced. PayFort is a leading payment services company in the region with operations in 6 different markets. أهلا وسهلا فيك. Also, Mohammed Abouini is with us today. Mohammed is the founder and CEO of Hyperpay. Hyperpay is a company that is in a similar field also to PayFort. So this will be interesting today. Hyperpay is well known for also being in the payments field. And just one second, they have 3 offices in the region. You have an office in Amman, in Dubai, and in Riyadh. And they are known for their innovative payment technologies. Also with us is Alexander Talanov. Our guest, Alexander, is representing a company called Kiwi from Russia. They started an office in Amman, which is very nice. Their office for the Middle East is based in Amman. So it's good to have Jordan as a base. Thank you for that. Kiwi is a company that operates virtual payments and physical payment technologies, physical in kiosks, right, and virtual through the internet. And we have a missing panelist today. He couldn't be with us today, unfortunately. The gentleman from Uber, Hamdi Tabbaa. Maybe if he comes in later on, he can join. But Uber is important. I came in an Uber cab, actually. Who used the Arab Advisors code for Uber here? Anybody used it other than me today? Aha, lovely. So we're the only ones who were adventurous, I guess. All right, lovely. So let's get our conversation started. First up is, let's talk about the state of cash versus cashless in the MENA region. Mainly, percentages, facts, data. We'll kick off with Basel, then we'll move on to Mohammed, then Mohammed, then Alex. Tell us about the situation. Are we going to have a cashless economy one day, or is it not possible?
Thank you, Zaid. Thank you. It's not going to be very soon. It's going to take time. I don't think cash will ever disappear. Globally, 90% of financial transactions are still done with cash and checks.
90%,
90%.
Globally?
Globally. In the Middle East, sometimes it's 99% in certain countries. In Jordan, we have made good strides. It's considered at 84%. MasterCard, I'm proud to say that we've worked with the Central Bank of Jordan to power up Madfu'atkum, which is a great platform, and I encourage every Jordanian citizen and company and government official to really embrace this innovative platform. We need to get beyond the checks and cash, which cost the Jordanian economy between 3 to 4% of the GDP. Cash is very expensive.
Why are they a cost? Why is cash a cost, Basel?
It's expensive to print, to protect, to move. The time it consumes to really recycle it and to proliferate it through agencies and between companies and individuals is really costly, time-wise and logistics-wise. So Jordan is on the right path, but there's a lot to be done. Like Princess Sumaya said, we have a lot to do, especially outside of Amman, where most of the 85% of the transactions, electronic transactions, are happening within the greater Amman area. A lot of cities and towns have not had any real penetration and acceptance. I was also talking to the central bank. Even visitors who come to Jordan tell me, even in the airport, we had installed a point of sale to accept cards to pay for the entry visa to Jordan, and sometimes it's not working. People have to go and withdraw cash and pay. These things don't give the right impression of Jordan, which is a progressive country with a high education level. This is a chance for Jordan to really shine in the Middle East.
This is a technology problem. It's a platform technology problem. It doesn't work.
The platforms are there. Just there's some inhibitors to this. There is education. There is a culture of cash in the Middle East and in Jordan as well, that we really need to work together to fight.
From your position at MasterCard is a well-known global player in this field. From your position, it looks promising, but it's not moving as fast as you want it to.
It's not moving as fast, but we have the platforms. It's not a technology thing. You can always get the technology. It's the commercialization of a solution, to train people, to educate people, and to give them the confidence that this will work. This is why it's important that merchants, governments, and civic leaders come together with banks and issuers to do so. I'm proud to say we have made some important steps, because we believe the new millennials, what we call the Y generation.
Millennials, people born after 1985, I think.
Yes, these will be the conduit to change.
I'm not a millennial, just so everyone knows. But I love millennials, they're our best customers.
So we think this generation is becoming more sophisticated in how they buy. They will adopt these mobile payments, these electronic payments. We are doing a big launch with 6 Jordanian universities, which will be announced soon, with the Cairo Amman Bank, where all students will get an ID card, which is a MasterCard. So it's a payment and entry and access card.
What's the idea here? The idea is to teach, to obtain human resources, skilled people who can handle this, or you're talking about awareness in the payments field only? To give them awareness to use these tools?
To facilitate their life, to give them a more secure way to pay, and to get them connected.
What about the skill side, the skill set issue? This is the problem.
Training and platforms is definitely being done, but there's a lot of Jordanians outside of Jordan, and they want to pay bills, but they want to send money to their student sons and daughters. We need to really encourage such platforms going forward. And just want to say, when the Syrian crisis happened, MasterCard, with the World Food Program and Bill Gates Foundation, funded an electronic MasterCard prepaid card to replace the cash vouchers that Syrian refugees were getting and standing in long lines to get their monthly food stipend and so forth. So we are making moves, and the Central Bank of Jordan and the government is really making a move. It's an opportunity to really proliferate electronic payments, because it will bring together the institutions and the merchants. And we'll talk later on.
Of course, we will have
e-commerce.
another chance to come back to more detail. Give the microphone to Mohammed, please. Well, what's your take on this from where you're sitting in the industry, as you're in the payments side? Tell us a little bit about that, cash versus cashless.
Thank you, Zeid. Thank you all. Actually, from our business, since we are serving the online transaction
across the region, not only in the Levant or Jordan.
Across the region and Jordan. Jordan, because we start in Jordan and then we expand to other countries. What I can see for online transaction, usually, as you know, till today, most of the transactions are happened on cash on delivery for online business. Personally, in Hyperpay, we always advise our clients not to offer cash on delivery for their clients. Today, the credit card penetration, for us at least, for online business, it's really good. It's convenient.
What is that? Do we have a percentage? Do we know the percentage of credit card penetration? Not necessarily in Jordan, across the region. You know, MENA like data. Maybe Basel can.
It's 27. You already told me actually the updates. It's 27%.
So we're over a quarter now. Over a quarter of people have credit cards. That's good. Good for payments. Okay, for people below 35 years.
Yeah, which is our target, mostly our target for the e-commerce business. If we are talking about Jordan, we have a high penetration of internet usage, but unfortunately, as online buyers, from the penetration of the internet is less than 10%. and most of the transaction is still happening on cash on delivery. But recently, during 2015, and maybe after we launch our service with Al Ahli Jordan Bank, and also EMB and MIPS are offering the same service.
The payment acquirer services, EMB and MIPS.
PayFort, they just joined Jordan also. So we can see that many of the retailers, they start to move online. Retailers like, we are talking about big retailers like SmartBuy and Carrefour, all these things, and small retailers, or at least let's make it clear, not small, but specific product retailers like Zalatimo or Bun Al Amid and all those people. So we can see the movement, definitely.
This is where the revolution is going to happen, when the retailers, they go online, and people, they want to buy from their favorite brand stores. They want to buy from SmartBuy or whatever, and they have to go online to do it.
Yeah.
And just like the Fawatircom example, when people wanted to pay through the banks, they started to have a tool to pay through the banks. So this is the other way. It's enabling people to buy through their favorite, from their favorite sources and through favorite channels, right?
Yes. I also I need to add that today, if I compare Jordan with more developed countries like Saudi Arabia or UAE, maybe UAE is #1, Saudi Arabia is #2. If we are comparing Saudi Arabia between 2014, which is what Jordan now, and 2015, there is, I can see on our system, on our platform, there's over 300 or 400% growth in online transaction. Of course, Saudi Arabia government, they are pushing for the cashless society big time. Today, every single shop, whatever it is, they should have an ATM card.
Is it legal by law? By law, they must have it.
They must have.
The ministry will come and see if there is no credit card service. They will pay a penalty or a fine.
Yes, immediately they will close.
That would be a real problem in Jordan if we did that. It could solve the problem, but it could create more problems.
But it's interesting, and you have to push people to do that.
It's one way.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you can give the microphone to Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed. What do you think of that, Mohammed? Looking at things from Jordan and the region.
Yeah, I just want to start by thanking Arab Advisors and sponsors of this event for putting this event and for raising these very important issues for discussion, because we need really to address these challenges.
Pleasure to have you with us.
Yes, and know how can we tackle these issues we're facing, and the way we can increase the dependency on cashless payments instead of cash on
What
delivery.
are you seeing the status now? I mean,
with
your
yes,
service and the percentages.
Let me start by sharing with you some numbers from the state of payment reports issued by PayFort for the year 2015 in terms of cash on delivery payments versus cashless payments. Actually, we can see that Kuwait tops the list of countries in the region less dependent on cash on delivery, with a percentage of only 41% of transactions paid online paid with cash on delivery, followed by UAE with a percentage of 51%. Then we have Lebanon, 53%.
Lebanon?
Lebanon, 53%.
So Kuwait is first,
Kuwait
UAE is second,
yes.
Lebanon is third.
Lebanon is third, followed by Jordan with a range between 60 to 70%. And then we have Egypt and KSA.
Interesting.
Actually. So there is a lot of things to look into to understand this variance in numbers between the dependency of cash on delivery between these countries. But we have also to look into the strong correlation always between offline payments and online payments, so that we see that the countries that are already they have right solutions in place for cashless payments, for offline payments that takes place in real life, they are usually less dependent on cash on delivery. So
yes, when the government, when the country teaches the people how to use it, they will also use it on your side of the business.
Exactly.
It's a habit. They have to build the habit of
exactly.
paying online.
There are a lot of factors actually that will lead any country into getting less dependent on cash on delivery or cash payments in general, including like the availability and affordability of payment solutions, including like having the right infrastructure and technology in place, including the potential of uptake of the new payment methods by large-scale merchants. Trust issues, we have trust issues here. We have to educate also customers.
What do you mean by trust issues?
Trust issues when it comes to the customers to gain a trust in using certain payment methods. We need to educate them. We need to let them know that this payment option is secure. There is no concerns when they're using these payment methods. And also when it comes to the privacy of their data they share with financial companies. Going down to the need, we have to identify the real need for customers to use these solutions.
So you're saying there's a challenge when you launch a product like PayFort,
Yes.
or a product like Hyperpay, or a product like Kiwi. There's a challenge to get people to believe, to try it, for trial, to get trial is a problem.
Well, yes, because if you look into the available payment methods we have for now in Jordan for the online payments, mainly we have the credit cards. If you look into the numbers of credit cards in Jordan, I believe that no merchant can be dependent, his business dependent on only credit card payments, because our penetration rate in Jordan is around 5%, and it's extremely low for people.
Basel, you concur? It's about 5-6%.
It's about 12% of Jordanians have a credit card. There's less than 500,000 credit cards in the whole of Jordan.
Oh, less than 500,000 credit cards in the country.
Yes, compared to 1.2 million in Lebanon, for example.
This affects your business, for example, at PayFort.
And 9 million in UAE.
9 million in UAE, half a million in Jordan.
Credit card, yes.
Population-wise, that's very strange. Huh?
So the banks are more conservative in giving credit cards, which is a good thing sometimes.
What were you saying about Lebanon, Basel? How many is it in Lebanon?
1 million cards.
1 million cards.
So one of the other issues about e-commerce is 95% of the credit cards or any cards in Jordan that have been activated are not ready for online use. If you go today as a Jordanian citizen with a credit card, 95% of the time you will have to call your bank and put a deposit for them to open for you the online commerce purchasing experience.
The banks are very strict about this, aren't they?
There
is a strictness by the banks that might be impeding development, because you have to go and create a credit like a line where you can spend online.
So
I feel for the banks, because they have to follow up on fraud. They are always worried, you know, when you buy something online, they call you the next 10 minutes later. Hello, did you buy this thing online? Yes, I did. Okay, I just wanted to check.
So there are solutions with MasterCard and Visa and Amex. There are solutions called 3D Secure, where you go online and they ask you to put a password. This application is being promoted with the central bank and the local issuers to really get it going, because unless we get the customer to use the card with confidence and the issuing bank to allow this, we will not get moving very quickly.
You give the microphone to Mohammed, then Mohammed, you can give it to Alex.
Just to add one thing about the 3D Secure service all the card schemes are having. We're facing an issue with the education of customers, because many of the customers, their cards, for example, are enrolled for 3D service, but they have no information, or they didn't get any information about how to use it. And
you're saying this is a customer service issue with the banks also?
Yes,
the bank should explain to them how to use it?
Should help us by...
Sorry يا جماعة, احنا دقين في البنks.
No, we just need to work together actually on solving this issue. So what we are asking banks to do is actually, the issuer banks, just to raise awareness about this 3D secure service, that it increases the protection of customers, and just to give them or guide them how to use this service online.
So you're saying that the banks have an important role to play in explaining the process. The banks, in their defense, they have excellent customer service numbers, and in my experience, you can ask a question and get a very good answer. And usually it seems that it's the changes that happen with the rules of using credit cards. There's so many changes happening every quarter. Anyway, if you could give the microphone to Alex. Thank you, Mohammed. Okay, so Jawad, I'm sorry, it's a political minefield. This is a conference for banks and monetary systems. It's okay if we critique the banks a little bit. Is it fine? Faisal, it's okay. Go on, Alex. Tell us a little bit about your side of the business, and what you've seen in your time in Jordan. You've been here for a year now.
No, I've been here actually for 3 years now.
3 years.
Fourth year.
Oh, very good. Practically Jordanian by now.
Yeah, practically. So thank you for the Arab advisors for the invitation and the possibility to participate. And thank you, Zeid, for introduction. And I agree with Basel when he's saying that most of transactions in the world are still happening in cash. Between 85 and 90% of consumer transactions are still cash-based. And region-wise, also I get some data. While UAE is the leader, around 10% of transactions are happening electronically, while KSA and Egypt are about 1 to 2%, which is very beginning of the road.
1 to 2%?
Yeah, this is what I found for the 2014.
Electronically?
Electronically, be it checks or cards or whatever. So the cash is here to stay for a long time. This is true, and it's natural because cash been here for about 3,000 years now, ever since we replaced the barter economy, and it's the most accepted mean of payment. The network of acceptance is the largest one in the world, so it's only natural it's there. I will just give some example from the country I come from, which is also a very cash-based economy, Russia. For the last 10, 15 years, the growth of electronic payments was very, very high there. For example, Visa and MasterCard, they were reporting their gross dollar volume doubling every second year. So it was really exponential, the growth.
This was in which years?
Starting from 2000 until 2015,
okay.
Let's say, that was a very high growth period. And where we ended up, in 2014, only 4% of all transactions are electronic.
Despite all the fast
Despite
growth.
all these facts.
But this shows you the size of the opportunity. So it shows all of us the size of the opportunity. There's still 80, 90% growth opportunity. True. So everybody can make money in this field, yeah?
So, but there was one important shift that happened throughout this decade, that like 3 years ago, on the nature of transactions by the cards, the withdrawal was replaced by the actual payment. So until recently, most of transactions on the card was the withdrawal from the ATM, actually turning electronic to cash, which changed recently. And still in Jordan, it's still to happen. It's yet to happen in Jordan, because I'm pretty much sure that most of transactions on cards are still withdrawals from the ATMs.
People look at it in the sense that their salary is in the bank, and every week they pull out a certain amount to pay things. What we want to do is we want them to actually not pull out the money. They want to actually spend it through the credit card. That's the plan.
True, but the change here is sizable. For example, in 2004, 95% of transactions in Russia were withdrawals. Mm-hmm. Now it's less than 50%. So
wow.
You can the shift there is possible.
10,
it shows
years.
that the people are starting to use the means to pay, actually, not to turn it to cash. But as our business, nature of our business, we are still targeting the cash payers, because we're all talking about electronic payments, but there's a lot of people, a big bulk of people who are still using cash. So we're offering them possibility to use cash to do electronic payments, basically.
Through the kiosks.
Through the kiosk.
How does this kiosk model work?
The model is simple. It's we operate roughly 200,000 kiosks in Russia and CIS region, where you can pay for over 3,000 services with cash. So you choose your service, whatever the service it is. Now we have money transfers as well, international money transfers through the kiosk. You have your credit card installments, telecom payments, whatever. And you just pay, and instantly you get the confirmation, the receipt.
Is it similar to an ATM system? Where
it is similar, but the Russian experience shows that people are not too keen to use ATM for small amount payments. Okay. Even if there's a cash-in facility.
Your product kind of competes with the banks if they introduce.
Actually, it complements it in a way, because now all the banks, major 200 banks of in Russia, they work with us for credit card installments and direct deposit to account, because they want to expand the network at a low cost, and we are offering them this facility.